Hello and welcome to TRT World, live from Istanbul. I'm Tatiana Anderson. Also ahead on the program.
No Africa policy outlined by the Trump administration. When he took office, he said America first. So observers really didn't objectively expect for him to put Africa first. But one of the main purposes of President Trump's trip is to get a look at prototypes for his controversial new border wall. Barriers just like this one that are already in place along the U.S.-Mexico border. Bruce, the last presidential debate is over. Trump went into this behind in the polls. How do you think his performance will impact his numbers moving forward?
Behind in polls? Whose polls?
Well, national polls, an aggregate of national polls.
Well, it depends on which poll you're looking for.
To Wimbledon now, where one of the world's greatest players of all time, I'm talking about Roger Federer, tracks your workout in real time using this heads-up display right here. All you have to do is you have to put it on and it feeds you all the information that you need. While black people here at the convention are clearly enthusiastic about their candidate and their party, a national poll shows they're the minority. We heard from the mothers of black Americans who were killed by gun violence or by police this week at the Democratic National Convention. How important is it to highlight these issues when it comes to the modern day civil rights struggle? And is there any significance to the fact that President Trump really took his decision about the YPG just in the days before Erdogan came to visit him in Washington? Does that mean anything? You are, of course, outside Parliament. That's where politicians are expected to speak throughout the day. July 15th has now been declared a public holiday. What are we expecting to hear from these politicians? Hillary Clinton reaching out to the city's mayor and Donald Trump reaching out to the state's governor. This is the message that people have here on the streets. They're very intent on getting that across. All of this happening, though, as state officials are working to get to the bottom of what happened. That is the news for now. Your headlines are up next.
Good morning, Bonaparte Floors. How can I help you?
Danita Fitzgerald Harrod says this shop has been in her family since rioters took to the streets outside following the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968. The shop escaped damage then, but last April, chaos erupted again after the death of another black man.
We closed early and we went on home, and we come back and we have no problems.
The rest of the street was not as lucky. The unrest, a response to the death of 25-year-old Freddie Gray. He suffered severe spinal injury while riding in a police van and later died. Now 6 Baltimore police officers are facing charges ranging from assault to murder. The first trial of William Porter is underway, and concerns over the outcome are building in Sandtown, Winchester, the neighborhood where Gray was taken into custody and where many say police brutality is a common practice.
I feel like it's time for them to be held accountable. You know, it's a lot of Freddie Grays out there.
This is an issue that plagues the country. Baltimore is representative of cities across America.
We are.
City Council member William Welch represents the 9th District where the Gray case started.
It's not only what happened to Freddie Gray, but before and since the incident, there have been a number of media blitzes on what appeared to be police brutality. It's not a partisan issue at all. People who are not empowered need to be empowered.
Many agree the push for justice in the death of Freddie Gray is paving a way for that to happen. But concern is high over the threat of more violence once the verdicts start coming in.
If there's a guilty verdict, I think this community will see partial justice. If there's a not guilty verdict, we're going to see April repeated.
And if that happens, the question for Danita Fitzgerald Harrod is whether or not her flower shop will escape unscathed for a third time. In Baltimore, Tatiana Anderson, TRT World.